Hi everyone, let me introduce myself. I'm Gopi Siddham Sethi, an MCA graduate specializing in cybersecurity. Today, I want to walk you through my hands-on Azure Sentinel SOC automation project that I built from scratch. This project helped me to understand real-world detections, investigation, automation, and how can I give a cloud security work that the same way token list and security engineers works inside an organization. My goal with this video is to showcase the practical skills, not just the theory, and demonstrated that how I'm ready for an entry-level cloud security analyst. The key phrase is to remember I didn't just learn the theory, I've implemented the workflow. Before I starting on my project, I want to walk you through the certifications that I've completed in this video. Firstly, I started before coming to the cloud, I've started with the cloud fundamentals in Azure. That was AG 900. This is the first practical assessment that I've completed in that. Then I've explored SC 900. How can I give understand the security compliances or regulatories in these certifications? Then also I've explored to Microsoft Sentinel giving me a pre-student pre-student with a developing 15 hours of practical course that would be helpful to complete my SC 200. And I've explored different types of defender services and scored a 56 marks in these examinations. You can see on the screenshots. Then by using my student subscriptions, I was able to move. Now, before doing this, let me give you an overview of what my project is. Okay, the overview of my project you can see on the screenshots. I was able to send different types of logs to log analytic workspace, and you can see my attacker laptops, and I was able to send intra ID logs, Azure activity logs, threat intel indicators, Microsoft Defender LH, and I was able to send to the Sentinel log analytics. Then I was able to access those logs by using of Microsoft Sentinel. I performed the different types of attacks from phishing, brute force, scavenging attack. I was able to perform different types of attacks, and I was able to send those logs to log analytic workspace, and I was able to access those logs by using a Microsoft Sentinel. Then I write different types of analytical rules, map it to MITRE. Then I start investigate each and every case by using a SQL query and hunting. Then I was able to properly document each and every attack that I have detected in the GitHub. Is the manual investigation that I've come there. Then it comes to automation. I worked on different types of automation playbooks. Auto close incident information includes disable, enable intra-ID users, threat intel, IP virus total, and email, URL repetition, domain repetition, file hash repetitions, and anything suspicious files are targeted the storage of, and then I was able to receive an alert to my email, which would be very easy to protect the storage accounts. Then I was able to move to Defender ecosystem. How the Defender ecosystem helped me to visualize each and every layer of security, and I was able to understand how the different tools help me to understand. I've explored each and everything you can see on the screenshot. And pretty finally, this is the overview of my project, how I had done. Python shell, PowerShell scripting. This is the final outcomes. What are the things that would help me to practically understand about method? Let me start with a Microsoft Sentinel. Next, I was able to use Microsoft Sentinel using my student subscription. Azure is giving a student subscription for all the students. Then I start exploring practically of different types of sections in Microsoft Sentinel. And I was able to use those sections practically, just like how the analytical rules, threat intelligence works. How can I add a different types of websites to look at their threat inputs? How can I add different types of IPs to watch list? This helped me to understand each and everything particularly and practically. I was able to write a different types of analytical rule in this section. And I've explored another section called KQL. In the KQL section, I've practiced different types of websites. Azure is giving a free data classes which will be used for the students. Then I was able to explore these sections practically to understand how KQL works. Then I was start exploring different types of operators like beginner topics, intermediate series, advanced series, just like filters, joins, time-based analysis, grouping, correlating. Working with the real logs helping me to understand how attacker move, how noise looks, and what pattern indicates suspicious activity. Because of this, I was able to write strong analytical rules for different attack behaviors, reduce a false positive, and speed up my investigation workflow by almost 30%. KKLs become one of my biggest strengths, help me to investigate faster and detect attacks more accurately. In the screenshots, you can see that I was attached to different types of screenshots in my practical investigation. When I explored the Microsoft Sentinel, I used Microsoft Sentinel Copilot to speed up my investigation. Copilot helped me to summarize the incident, validate the detection, extract attacker sampling, generate evidence summarizes, and reduce the manual work during the investigation. This gave me a hands-on experience with AI software, which is becoming a very important in modern security. In the screenshot, you can see that how can I solve a case using a security copilot, and I was able to write a different type of KQL query which would be helpful me to investigate this case faster. Also write a detection rule which will be able to detect these type of cases in future. This is the main page. This is the strongest part in project, that was attacking. And in the attacking and detecting phase, I was able to perform the different types of attacks on my personal laptop, and I was able to send each and everything to my log analytics space with proper documentation. With the onboarding process of how I have onboarded different types of things like my Windows server, Ubuntu, my Windows laptop, and what are the things that I have downloaded before even onboarding the each and every personal launch. You can see in the proof of screenshots how I am onboarded each and everything. Have onboarded Ubuntu and downloaded different types of CF. In the proof of screenshot, you can see that what are the resources that I have. And this is the main attacking phase that I have started. The brute force and detection phase, then I was able to perform the different types of password fail attempts on my personal laptop. Then I was able to send those likes to my Sentinel. Then I was able to write an analytical rule which will be find these type of brute force attempts. Then I was able to solve that case. After that, after failed brute force from there was a successful login account. These type of patterns would be detected. So I was able to write another analytical rule which will be able to detect these type of attacks. You can see in the screenshot there was a successful login attempt after the many more failed attempts. You can see in the screenshot there was a successful login attempt after the many more failed attempts. And then I was able to phishing attachment and detection. Phishing is a more attacked on the organizations. And the user downloaded the phishing attachment, and the background it was able to perform different types of scripts. How can I detect these type of scripts? Then I was able to start investigation and writing a different types of analytical rule to detect these type of attacks. You can see in this screenshot, I was able to detect one of the things. I have built it analytical rule and map it to method attacks. I was able to find that phishing attachment. And I start building an analytical rule. Started investigation this case, and I understand how the pattern of malware pushing attachment works. Then I start exploring another attacks as special partial command execution. Our attackers often attacks the partial as a tool. Then I start performing different types of attacks on the partial. Then I was able to detect those type of partials attacks on Sentinel. You can see in the screenshots. And I start exploring advanced attacks by using of registry case startup bat. Then I start investigating this case too, and I was able to find that startup bat and build an analytical rule to detect these type of attacks. After building analytical rule, then I was able to map those analytical rule to matter. I was able to write an analytical rule and detect these type of suspicious partial commands you can see in the screenshots. And the another type of attack is scheduled task creations. I performed two types of attacks on login and on startup. These type of attacks, what are the command line that I've used? Now can I able to build the analytical rule. Then I start investigating on this case. Then I was able to build an analytical rule to detect these type of patterns of how can a scheduled task creation works. After understanding how the attacker phase works, then I was able to build an analytical rule on this. Then I was able to solve these type of scheduled task creation phases and having a properly documented each and everything. After detecting, I was able to manually log on to my attacker laptop. Then I was manually deleted each and every scheduled task that is running. And the another attack is system enumeration via command line utilities and detection response. Attackers often used to gather information by using of VMAN. They was able to use different types of command lines on the command line to get the most of the information about the laptop. In the screenshot, you can see the attacker performed different types of attacks. After detecting those patterns, I was able to write a different types of analytical rule to detect different types of. You can see in the screenshot, I was able to find different types of command lines he was able to use in the attack case. Then I start building an analytical rule to detect these type of investigation. Then I was able to solve those process. And another attack is registry persistent. I was able to perform two types of attacks here, which is the low admin level required and the another way is admin required. Then I was able to write and detect different types of registry keys on my personal laptop. Then I was able to understand the attack pattern and I started investigating. In the screenshot you can see I was able to detect those patterns and started investigating thoroughly on this and started building an analytical rule which will be able to find these type of registry code persistence. When I start building an analytical rule, then I was able to solve the cases. After detecting these bases of, I was able to manually connect to my attacker, delete the registry keys running. The screenshot you can see that there is no registry keys are there. Then I start exploring on the cloud logs. Then I was able to do Azure activity logs. And I was able to build the different types of analytical rules to detect these type of analytic attacks. Then I was able to move to UEBA, how user analytic entity and behavior analytic works. Then I was able to move into ID and performing different types of user actions. Then I was able to explore another option called logic app playbooks. How can I able to build a different types of playbooks which will be helpful to me to speed up my investigation. After I understand the manual investigation, I focused on automation. I built a logic app playbooks that perform enrichment, IP reputation lookup, notify, analyze, and responded manually. The first playbook that I've written was the auto close low and informational incidents. I was able to attach that playbook to an automation rule which will be, you can see anytime you can see in low and informational alert, this case will be solved automatically. Then I built in another playbook which will be able to disable and enable the Entra ID users in the Microsoft Intro ID. I was manually created a ID user Virat. Then I started investigation on this case. After investigation on this case, I was able to create an incident. Then I started building a playbook to disable and enable the different types of users that was created legally on the Microsoft controller. Then I was able to manually trigger that playbook. You can see in the screenshot, I was able to disable that person. And then I was explored to IP reputation lookups. What can I use a different types of lookups that would be helpful for the SOC analyst? In the screenshot, you can see that I was able to perform different types of attack pattern to get the IP addresses in my logs. You can see in the screenshot, suspicious threat until IP is detected. Then I was able to build a playbook and trigger that playbook manually. We can see in the screenshot, I was able to send that IP addresses to the virus total. Then I was able to get the outputs of the territorial IP. Then I was able to send the proof with the email to my email. And you can see the report of the individual email. By using a virus shuttle enrichment playbook, then I was able to build a different types of playbooks in the environment. Like say an example of URL. This is the URL. Then I was able to get the report of that URL. Then the domain reputation playbook. I was able to build a domain reputation playbook. Then I get the suspicious domain that I then I was able to build in file reputation playbooks. This is the main playbook that I use. People started abuses in the different other storage account in Azure, and I was able to build a playbook that would be secure the whole storage account. If someone suspicious things has happened on any of type of files would be added to the storage account. In the screenshot you can see there's a hacker.txt file is added. Every time there is something text was added, I was able to receive an alert to my email. There is a suspicious hacker.txt file is added to. And the main screenshot you can see there is a different types of playbooks. I explored the entire Microsoft Defender ecosystem hands-on, including the Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Identity, Defender for Cloud Apps, Defender for Office 365. Then I started exploring practically of those Defender ecosystems. Then I was able to set different types of policies and rules. Let's say an example of I set two types of threat policies practically. One is the applied standard protection to give you a standard protection to the emails. Then I was able to enable the strict protections to the policies. Then I explored practically on these options. Then I started moving to Defender for Cloud. How can I give a security to the cloud security posture management and cloud workload protection platform? And I was able to enable those options and send those logs to Microsoft Sentinel. You can see in the screenshot, I was able to protect different types of resources within the cloud. Then I was able to explore another option called PowerShell, essential for Cloud SOC Analyst. Why PowerShell is essential for Cloud SOC Analyst? Top 10 most frequently seen MITRE attack techniques is command and scripting interpreted. And the most attacks performed on the PowerShell, which is 26.2%. I think I convinced you enough to why a SOC Analyst needs cloud. And I start exploring different types of options individually. How can I use a different types of commands to get the effective results on each and everything? In this, the network investigation commands. Then I start practically explored different types of commands, file and directory operations, listing files, checking file data, viewing the metadata, and the ports open. I was able to extract a different directory command line that I've used. And after completing the project, this is the outcome that I've gained in this whole project. I've used KQL for the faster investigation, Sentinel for real workflow attacking,